Hi, Steve here from winningmore.com. This is a brief overview if you want to do liability staking for lay betting. Now, many people don't like lay betting because when you place a bet, say you stake £10 on it and the horse is at paying £3, if that horse wins the race, you don't actually lose £10, you actually lose £20, and that's what scares a lot of people off, judging by the emails I get on laying. Now, laying is an intricate part of betting, and of course it's half of what Betfair does. So let me show you how, if you want to get involved in laying and you want to treat it more like the aspects of a backing bets, then you use the liability option. Now, what that means is when you have a lay bet, you actually state how much you're prepared to lose. So if you are going to have a bet and you only want to lose a maximum of £10, then this is what this video will show you how to do it. And what I'm doing today is going to show you how to do it on Betfair and also how to do it on laying SP prices. Now, if you're in England, the minimum liability you can lay is £10. If you're in Australia, it's $30. I'm not quite sure on euros and that, but you'll soon find out. So basically what it is, you have buttons along here. If you have this one here, Betfair starting price SP, if you have that unchecked, you can see how the screen looks there. By checking it, you get the SP options here now. So that means if we were to click on here, we would get the Betfair SP. This is a price that's worked out just as the race starts. It looks at the amount of money on the backing side and the laying side, and we get an SP price, much how the bookies get it, but this is a Betfair SP price. So because this is a laying liability video, what we would do, say if we wanted to lay this horse here, we would click on the SP price, and I'll just move the camera over now, and it comes up with a screen like this here. Now, the important things to remember here is your liabilities. Okay, so say if you're in the UK and you only wanted to have a liability of 10, you would put that in there. But there's one other thing that you need to do, is the set SP odds here. So you can check that now, and this is the price that's going at the moment. But you can check the price. You may say, I don't want to lay it any more than £3. That's the odds of £3 or 2 to 1. Then you can change that there. That's our liability, and it's showing here that our minimum profit would be £5, dollars or euros. So that is how you bet to the liability. You're putting the liability in there and then betting that. So that is the maximum amount of money that you will lose in this bet. Should Tatalisu wins, that will be it. And you'll find in our laying services and laying systems and that, we often talk about liability laying, and that's why we show the results in liability laying, because it gives you a much smoother path. You know, you're setting what you're going to lose, the amount you're going to lose if the bet goes against you, and then if the bet goes with you, then obviously your returns, if it's over £2, the horse is paying over £2 evens, well then your return is going to be obviously less than your liability. But if it's odds on or even and under, then your return will be equal to your liability or a bit higher. So if in this case our liability was 10, if a horse was paying 1.9, we would obviously win more money than our £10 that we had as a liability, because obviously the horse is under even money. So that's how you do it on Betfair SP. But you can also, okay, so let's say that we don't want to bet SP, we want to actually take our lay right now and use a liability staking. So what we would do here is we would, if we're doing the same horse, we would click on the lay, on the lay price, and then if we go over here, we've got the two buttons here. Now if we're going to put in 10 like this now, it would show us that the payout would be 28.6. The liability on this bet, having 10 in there as a backer's stake, would be 18.6. Okay, so we don't want that. We only want to risk a liability of 10. So if we click on the liability and we put in 10 and click OK, it will show you now that we're actually going to, for us to lose maximum of £10 or dollars, we're actually, that's our stake there is 5.36. So the Betfair interface works it out automatically for us. So if we're going to do 5 or 6 horses in different races and we only want a liability of 10, all we need to do is push the liability button and put in our 10, and the computer works it out for you. Betfair's interface works it out for you, and then you just place your bet. Okay, so that is how you do liability betting. And a lot of the time when we're quoting, as I said before, we use liability betting, and we usually use it as a percentage of the bank, like 5% of the bank liability. So if your bank was 500, 5% liability would be 25. So if that was the case and we were using a 5% liability, we would just click on that, put in 25, click OK, and it gives us the stake. We don't even have to worry about once it's done that, all we need to do is click place the bet, and that's it for us. So that is liability staking as opposed to just normal lay staking. And if you have shied off lay betting before, then I suggest you try this, because it's a lot of it is a psychological battle. And when you know that, okay, we're going to lose $25 if that horse wins the race, then that's much better than having a stake of $25 and then saying, oh no, now I've lost 50 or something like that. It just doesn't help your psyche when you're betting and things are going against you a little bit. So I suggest that if you have shied away from laying before, then have a look at it using the liability option. It gives you a lot more control. Even though it's only psychological control, it makes your punting a lot more enjoyable and hopefully profitable if you're using a good method. Okay, this is Steve from Winning More signing off, and thank you again for your time today to watch this video.